Hi everyone! Sorry if it picks up some background noise, but thank you for joining me for this Progeny stream. I'm so excited. I've wanted to stream Progeny since like the first gen I played, so this is exciting. And first of all, I'm gonna start out with like a little lore recap because let's just say like none of this will make sense if you don't have like the baseline lore for Progeny. So I'm gonna say right now, if you're a player in the event, do not watch this part because there will be spoilers. There will be opportunities for metagaming. So yeah, if you are a player in Progeny in this gen, please don't watch this part. I will highlight this lore recap on my channel so that any new viewers can have it as an easy like thing to watch, just to make sure that everything makes sense. But yeah, this quick lore recap will just give some important context for like characters you might see in my stream and like my characters' motivations and stuff. And so I think we can get right into it, honestly. Okay. It all starts in the nation of Paleria. Very, very pretty nation, pretty castle. It is the second largest nation in Progeny. And the thing about Paleria is that it's actually two nations in one. This is the kingdom of Xandros, and then there's Rainfall. And basically, it's ruled by two archons. And Paleria is the second largest nation, and Erin is the biggest. And there's a family that rules Xandros, and one that rules Rainfall. So these are, well, at the time, these were the leaders of Xandros and Rainfall. We have Leyden Kane and Milex Kodomo. Both these people are very important, I promise. Okay, my story all starts with Leyden Kane and Josephine Frostwood. And so Josephine, she's an NPC basically, but in canon, she's the daughter of Duncan Frostwood, who is the Duke of Vicentia, which is an Aaron territory. So this is already like a Paleria leader in Aaron. So that's the origin story of these three. We have me, Lizzie Kane, that's my character, and then her two older brothers. We have Philip Kane. You might know this guy as Shfood out of character, and then Cassian Kane II. This is my duck son Quack. He was the oldest brother and like most likely in line to be the next Archon. And then this is Leyden Kane, Philipkar. That's the father, and these are the Chudlings. Okay, so this is when Lizzie Kane is 3 years old. And uh-oh, Rainfall is sieged by the Aaron army. What is happening? So yeah, Lizzie is terrified and she doesn't know what's going on. But this is what actually happened. So remember Milex Kodomo, the ruler of Rainfall? Yeah. And this is Emperor Matthias Venthier, also known as Fluixon. And he rules Aaron. Remember the biggest nation on Progeny? Yeah, so Milex decided to kill Matthias. So yeah, not very not very good. So yeah, Rainfall is sieged by the Aaron army, and all 3-year-old Lizzie knows is that her home is being invaded. She's terrified, so basically she starts isolating herself in the castle. She never leaves the castle. She's obsessed with like fairy tales and books. So this is her growing up from 3 years old to 23 years old. But basically, her book obsession, it turns into a history book obsession. So she's obsessed with like history. So she learns about this. And she learns what Milex did. And since this is the other ruling family Paleria, and like Lizzie's the daughter of, Lane Kane, the ruler of Xandros, Lizzie's like WTF. Why are the Kodomos like still in power after what Milex did? So she's kind of like she doesn't really like the Kodomos, especially after they tried to vote her father Lane Kane out of power, but it was unsuccessful. But anyways, now at 23, she is a jobless chud nepo baby. She's a history nerd, and she wishes something out of a fairy tale or like an adventure novel would happen to her. She's a chud. So yeah, remember how she wished for something crazy to happen? Yeah. Her mom dies. Yep. Rest in peace, Josephine. Really sad. So now Lizzie is depressed. She's isolating from her family and Polyria itself. And she starts sneaking out to other nations, like under disguises. And yeah, Lizzie, something's wrong with her, but we'll get to that. So this is Lizzie's heir in disguise. Her name under her heir in disguise is Ella, and she meets Thana Dragon. And basically, Lizzie lies that she's like an errant scholar, and she's just like hanging in the library. And she really likes Thana Dragon. She reminds her of her deceased mother. So yeah, remember Thana Dragon. And then also in the library, she meets Anastasia Saren, and her and Anastasia bond over history, and they become really good friends. And she's like, huh. So remember how Lizzie was in disguise? Yeah, so now Anastasia has moved to Valyria, and her father has assigned Anastasia as Lizzie's knight. So yeah, Lizzie lied to her face about her identity, and now she's her knight. So you'd think it's awkward, but Anastasia doesn't really care. Anastasia's chill with it. So they become partners in crime. It's all chill. So they're headed back home, right? And Lizzie sees her brother talking to Mighty Venthyr. And if you don't know, the Venthyrs, that's the Aaron royal family. Also known as also known as yeah, remember this guy? Yeah, this is his like great grandson. I don't know. But yeah, Lizzie is a chud. She likes, dramatic romance, and she's like, I'm a princess of Polyria. He's a prince of Erin. Like, it's. She's stupid. So she's like, yeah, I love you. And so he's like, my mom is missing. And they're like, we can help you find your mom. So these three, they kind of become a trio. And they go to Erin to go find his mom. I don't know what was going on with his mom, but she was missing. Anyway, they don't find his mom, but they just end up hanging out. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna buy you a horse. And so remember Thought of Dragon? Yeah. So another person that Lizzie has lied to, yeah, they find out that she's actually Lizzie Kane. And so Lizzie bursts into tears in front of her. And she's like, I'm sorry for lying to you. Like, I lied because, I'm not really comfortable with who I am because, people judge me for being a Kane. Because remember Leighton Kane? Yeah, Aaron doesn't really like him. Polira doesn't really like him. No one likes her father. So Lizzie has been judged in the past for being his daughter. So she wanted a fresh start. And Thana is very understanding. And she doesn't, like, make fun of Lizzie for lying to her. And so Lizzie is like, wow, you're very kind. And then her husband, Edmund Dragon Marks, these two, they're not supposed to sell horses to non-Aaron citizens, but they sell Lizzie a horse. So Lizzie's like, wow, I love the Dragon Marks. So, pretend these two are in disguise because they decide to disguise themselves. So they are at the Circle of Birch Festival. And then this guy comes up to them. And like he recognizes Lizzie by name, and at first she screams. She is like, "Who are you?" But actually, flashback. These are them as children. And so this guy's brother, Rytamias, these two were childhood friends, and this was his brother. So like they kind of all knew each other. So Lizzie's like, wait, I know who you are. So he's basically like, I run this group called the Privateers. And Lizzie's like, wait, I've seen your posters. And they're kind of like this cool pirate group. And so basically he's like, yeah, so I thought I should warn you that your father's gonna be deposed of, and I think that you or your cousin Ivankov Kane will be in charge. And she's like, what? Yeah, essentially this is the plan that he proposes to her. Her father will just be deposed of, and I don't know if the older brothers were considered in this plan. So Lizzie assumes that like he means, oh yeah, I'm gonna deal with your older brothers too. They're gonna die. So you have these people. And then her cousin, Ivankov Kane, he shows up too, and he's like, yeah, Lizzie, are you coming to the meeting? And she's like, what meeting? and they're like, we're gonna meet on Caldera, which is an island. And she's like, okay. So these two are like, WTF? Like, they want to like completely like change the power structure of Polyria. They want to put me or my cousin in charge. And some context, Lizzie. So Lizzie went on a diplomacy trip with her cousin, but like he's been gone for like multiple years, like being a criminal. So Lizzie like kind of just reunited with him, and now like she finds out that he's like in business with this like privateer. So yeah, Lizzie is pissed. She's like why would he be in charge? Like she doesn't know what's going on. She thinks her father might be killed. So these two are like, yeah, Ivankov is a traitor. He gotta fucking die because they don't know what else to do because they think that their home's gonna be overrun by like pirates and people are gonna die. So Lizzie is like, well, Ivankov's the one doing all the diplomacy, so Ivankov needs to go. So they make that plan, and they decide to go with the group to the meeting at Caldera to see what that's about. And so it's all going well. They're going to Caldera with the pirates, and then everyone disappears. And Lizzie's like, guys, where'd you go? Uh-oh. Lizzie went beyond the fog and ended up in the north of Progeny, because the fog that surrounds the island has receded. And so now Lizzie is stuck in the north, pretty much by herself. And so while Lizzie's on her own side quest, yeah, Anastasia, her and Ivankov get alone and he dies. And so eventually, Lane Kane, Philip Kane, Anastasia, and Mythe, they all come and rescue Lizzie from the north. So Lizzie's like, wow, maybe I shouldn't distance from my family. Maybe they do care about me. So she goes back to Polyria, right? And her older brother Cassian and Leon, they're like, by the way, we're gonna fight a dragon, and you can't come because you have to be the last surviving member of the family. And Lizzie's like, what the fuck? So she's like, I'm in love with the vampire. Also, fuck you. And yeah, they don't take it well. So Lizzie cries. She runs to Aaron. She gets drunk, and she's saved by Thana Dragon. And they go to a horse race together. They have fun. And Lizzie is like, wow, I wish you were my mother. Yeah, so they meet back up with the rest of the Dragonmarks family. And yeah, they get word that Edmund Dragonmarks has perished in the battle with the dragon. So, yep, Lizzie's here for some reason. And honestly, she's pretty much part of their family right now. Yep, they all mourn Edmund. And now Lizzie's like, wow, I have a new family. So now, Lizzie Dragonmarks. Oh yeah, so remember Layden? So yeah, he fought the dragon with Cassian. That happened. But he returns home, everyone's pissed. So he gets put on trial, he's found guilty, and he's put on house arrest in Polyria. Yep, that's a whole debacle that I don't have time to explain. Hi, Estella. Yeah, so remember how he got put on house arrest? Yeah. So this is 8 masked assassins. They try to slime him out while he's on house arrest. So just in the nick of time, Lizzie and Mythe arrive on horseback, and they help him escape. And they flee to the great country of Erin. And yeah, Philip Kane is here too, I guess. And they're like, wow, Polyria fucking sucks. They just tried to kill her father, like the leader of Polyria, after he was found guilty. Like, yeah, it's a whole mess. Lizzie's pissed. Yeah, they're all pissed. But yeah, Mikey's like, this is a great time to get married. Will you marry me? And Lizzie's like, yeah. And yeah, remember how Edmund Dragonmarks died in the dragon battle? No, he's actually alive. So yeah, Lizzie gets pretty much adopted by this family while her father is still alive. Don't question it. And remember Cassian? Yeah, he becomes the new leader of Polyria. So he's chilling, they're chilling in Erin, all seems well. Now, the 20-year-long time skip is where things get really dark. Like, you thought that was a pretty good ending, right? Like, it was fairly good besides this. Like, she's in Erin, they're all in Erin except Cassian's in power. Like, all is well. Yeah, no. So Layden, he dies of old age, which is fine. Obviously, that would happen. Both her new parents, yep, they die of old age. Anastasia, she's alive. alive but gay, you know. Um, yeah. Her brother, her oldest brother, the new leader of Pleria, he's murdered. Yeah, and Lizzie's new husband is dead from a heart attack. And I had Kenneth's because he drank too much alcohol. So yeah, here's her children. Yeah, they had children. Shout out Connoisseur for their art of their character. But we have Milan Venthane and Oriana Venthane. And Lizzie is just, she's just depressed. She's like, why does my family keep dying? Yeah, it's rough on her. So she shows up to the north. This is the Order of Axon. And she meets this dude who's preaching. And he's like, follow my religion, and your life will get better. I promise. And Lizzie's like, this makes so much sense. If I give you all my money and I follow your religion, maybe people will stop dying. So yeah, Lizzie Lizzie is wrapped up in this religion. Who knows if that's good for her? Probably not. So remember the trio? Remember, well, this is Lizzie's new family. We have Eleanor Dragon Marks. She's the Lady Commander of Erin, which is awesome. Ermine, her other sister, she is the Duchess of Frostmark. And Lizzie, now she's under her new identity, Ella Dragon Marks, because, E names. And her name is Elizabeth, so it's not a complete lie. But what does she even do? That is a great question. But yeah, this is what's going through her mind pre-Gen 5. She's like, I miss Anastasia. Remember her knight that's alive? But yeah. She's like, who killed my brother? Cleary ruined my life. To be continued this generation. So yeah, pretty much these are the big three. And this one especially, who killed her brother? Because, he was murdered, and he was like the leader of Polyria for some time. So she's like, yeah, obviously it was someone who was mad at my father. So Lizzie, honestly, she's pissed at the whole nation of Polyria basically because they put her father on trial twice. And Lizzie sees that as corrupt. And so, she honestly wants Aaron to go to war with them. So she'll be doing devious shit to try to make that happen. And so that's why I'm really excited for this because Lizzie is going to be evil and I will be doing evil things. So that's why it's very important for no metagaming to happen. So if you are a Progeny player, please don't watch my streams. That'd be great. Unless you're a Stella, you could hit pass. Um, if if you plan to play in Progeny, don't use any of this information you got from these streams to inform your metagaming, because that is against the rules. You'll help me be evil? Oh, thank you, Estella. Thank you. I'm so excited to be evil because Lizzie, she has a big list of who she thinks might have killed her brother, but we'll get to that because her main target is the whole nation of Valeria. So I really want war to happen in Progeny because honestly, war barely happens. So I can't wait to be evil. But thank you for joining me for this lore recap. I kind of lied that Progeny started now. It starts at 5 p.m. So I will be back live around 5:10, 5 o'clock. It takes a bit for Progeny to get set up and stuff with the servers. And I have to do a little of out of character inventory sorting. So I will be back live around 5 to 5:30. So thank you for joining this lore recap. I'll highlight this on my profile if you want to watch it back. And see you later. Bye guys.